Hi guys, this is Debbie from Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm using another awesome digital kit from TaylorMade Cards for You. Before we get started though, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and make sure that you also hit the bell so you get a reminder every time I upload a new video. You'll also want to check out Crafter's Castle's monthly challenge. The challenge is anything goes and is solely sponsored by TaylorMade Cards for You. This month's prize is the Return to Sender digital kit that I'm using for today's project. And since the prize is digital, it means that the challenge is open worldwide. So be sure to check the description box below for more information, as well as a link where you can buy the kit. And make sure to stick around till the end of the video. I have a coupon code for you so you can get 20% off your purchase at TaylorMade Cards for You. I know that crafting with digital images can sometimes be a little intimidating, especially when you're trying to figure out how to get the images that you want in the size you want for the project you want to do. So I thought I'd share with you how I do this. I am basically just in my computer, I double-clicked on the image. It opens up the photo viewer, and while I'm in that, I just go ahead and crop each of the images. I have a Windows 10 computer, and this is the Microsoft Photos app that came with the computer. So you see I'm just cropping that image down. I'm bringing each of the little points in, so I'm only focusing on the one image. This one is of this little postman. And then I just save a copy. Usually I keep the same file name just generally and just add like A, B, C. This one has got several different images. So I did go in and when I was processing this one, I did go in and I cropped each of those images so I've got them for future use. And here we've got the new JPEG file all ready to go. Next I'm going to open up a pretty cool online app that I heard about recently. Now I had struggled a bit with removing the backgrounds on some of my images, and then I heard about remove.bg. Now this is a free website. They've never charged me for anything, and it takes only seconds pretty much to get your background removed. So you see I pulled it in and it erased everything, including that other digital image that was up in the corner. That doesn't always happen, but it does have an edit feature so you can go in and basically erase anything that you don't want. And then I just download it to my computer. So this guy is all ready to go, and now I can put him into a document and create my card. For this next part of the process, I'm going to use Microsoft Word. Now you can use other different types of word processors for this. I'm sure it would work fine. You could probably use Adobe Acrobat and different things like that. Anything where you can layer the image and resize the images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in two different images into my Word document, and then I'm going to layer them where I want them. This larger image is basically a page from a book that is teaching you how to write letters to folks. Back in the day, everybody did do snail mail. So what I'm going to do first is just resize it so that it is as wide as I want it to be, and then I'm going to crop it. So I'm just going to use that top portion of that book page. I want the part that has the letters and the sentiment letter writing. I just thought that looked really cool. Once I've got that size the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and move my little postman in place. There's also a place where you can say which thing you want to be on top, and you can resize the images whichever way you want to. I'm going ahead and putting him there, and then I'm making a second copy because I want to do a little bit of layering on my card. I cut out the panel that says letter writing. Actually, I made two of them and used the two little postmen, but I cut those out just a square, and I ran the rest of the page through my Scan and Cut to perfectly cut out those little postmen. And now I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending and distressing on the edges of this. I started off trying out antique linen, but it just doesn't look like there's any ink going down on the paper. So I decided to go up to Vintage Photo, which I thought was maybe a little dark, but that one turned out to work better. Then I decided I'm going to use my Tim Holtz distressing tool. Now, I'm not good at this. This is a tool that I bought because I saw on some videos that it looked really cool, but I never ever used this, probably because I'm not comfortable with it. So I thought, this time I am going to channel my inner Monica Taylor, and I am going to distress the edges on this card and see how it turns out. So there were also, in the image, it looked like it was like ripped pages, like there were some torn edges. So I'm going ahead and cutting some of those grooves out and then going back over that with this little distresser. I worked my way around the panel and cut some edges off and finished up working my way around that. Once I got all of those edges distressed, then I went back with that Vintage Photo. Now I decided to go ahead and just use the ink pad on the edges to just get a good amount of ink on there. You know, not too much, but just on the edges. And then I'll go back with my with my ink blender. Now, one thing I am being careful of is I want that sentiment letter writing to show, so I'm making sure that I don't bring the ink too close to that as I go around it. Next, I'm going to pop my little postman up on some foam squares and just layer him right on top of the other image. Next, I'm going to add a matte by using some brown cardstock from Recollections. Since I've already got the little postman popped up on foam tape, on foam squares, I'm putting my adhesive down on the brown cardstock in order to put the card panel down. Probably should have done it the other way around, you know, put the card panel on the mat before embellishing it, but it's still working out okay. Then I'm just going to trim the edges down a little bit and using my Fiskars paper trimmer. I decided not to use my standard white card base. Instead, I grabbed a piece of cream cardstock. It's still that 300 GSM that I get from Michaels, but it's just the cream color. And I'm going to use that. I feel that it'll go better with the browns that I'm using on this card instead of being stark white against that tone. I don't think the tone would have looked quite as well with the white. Next, I just ink the edges of my panel a little bit more, and then I am going to create a card base using my scoring tool and one of those panels that I just cut from a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. As usual, I am scoring at 4 1/4, flipping the panel over and burnishing on the score. And now I'll just adhere the panel down onto my card base. I created 2 of these cards, and as a final touch I decided to add some liquid pearls in brass, just a few little dots in a couple of places just to add a little something to the card. And that finishes up these cards for today. I'd like to thank you for checking out my project for this month's Tailor-Made Cards for You design team. I encourage you to visit all the other crafters on the team because I know they will have a lot of inspirational projects for you to see. As a bonus, Monica has generously provided a discount code for you. I would love to see what you create, so come and share your creations over in my Facebook group. There's a link down below in the description. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.